Uh, Welcome, Remy. Welcome to the talk show. Thank you for taking out some time to speak with me today. And before we move forward, could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Yes, thank you for having me. My name is Remy Meraz, and I am the founder and CEO of MeTime, metime.io. And MeTime is a emotional wellness and slash personal development platform. We are on a mission to help people think, feel, and work better. And we do that through an interactive platform. It's micro learning content that features therapists, life coaches, and trainers. And they help you navigate challenges and overcome them, both on the personal and the professional side of your life. And our goal is to help you increase your happiness and productivity and resiliency.
Wow, that's such a great cause. I'm glad you're working on that. And where is the headquarters? Where is the company located?
We are located in Los Angeles, California.
Okay, and the clients they can join you anywhere online, or do they have to be located in California?
No. It's an online platform, and I'll be happy to provide the URL
Mhm.
so that people can sign up and try it out, and that you can post in your show notes.
Sure, absolutely. Sounds great. And what motivated you to start this company?
There's a lot of suffering happening in the world, and there always has been, but it feels like even more so today, right, with everything going on in the world. But for me, it was really about um, you know bringing forth uh, access to therapists and coaches and world class trainers, because there's stigma and resource challenges that people have, time
Correct.
and money, right? And so I wanted to bring forth the teachings and learnings that people can experience when they work with these type of individuals, and help them be better people. I think inherently people want to be happier, they want to do better, they want to enjoy life more, enjoy their family more, their friendships, their work, and having access to that type of those teachings and learnings that these experts provide can elevate people to the next level and help them achieve those goals.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that, and that's a really good cause that you're working on. So, what about your school? Where did you go to school, and what was your major?
My school is actually the school of life. I no, I was in college in San Diego, California, when I became pregnant with my daughter, and so I went motherhood and in career route and dropped out of school, and but my major at the was business and marketing,
Mhm.
and I got that experience from working my way up the corporate ladder. I've worked from startups to small business to Fortune 500 companies, always in a business development or marketing role. And what I like to tell people about entrepreneurship
Mhm.
is that it's business school in action, right? So instead of practicing or learning about the theory, you're actually learning it firsthand in real life and practicing it.
Wow, that's like an amazing career. Like you mentioned that you got pregnant and then you were studying at the same time, and now you're here. You're working out for your own company. That's an amazing journey.
Yeah, I feel like all of those work experiences, in my 20s and my 30s, um, led me to building, my
Mhm.
own business. And it was a tremendous career, trajectory that I had. I started off as a sales and marketing assistant, and I worked my way up into national sales manager positions and leadership roles.
Wow, that's amazing.
And that took a lot of grit and determination, And for me, it was always the willingness to go the extra mile. So I'll give you an example. Whatever industry that I was working in, although I may not have had that educational background, traditional schooling, I would go take classes.
Mm-hmm.
So I started my career in the airline industry and as a sales and marketing assistant. And I went and took airline sales and marketing classes at the junior college so that I could better myself, in the role. And also to demonstrate to my leaders that I was willing to do whatever it took to be really great at my job.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always done that for every company that I've ever worked for, because I have transcended a lot of different industries.
Mm-hmm.
But the core skill set for me was my ability to sell and market products and services.
That's great. That's amazing. And what about entrepreneurship, like starting your own company? Would you say the entrepreneur life chose you, or did you choose it?
That's such a great question. And I think about that all the time. And I think it's a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because I do come from entrepreneurial parents. My dad has been an entrepreneur his whole entire life. I think he's
Oh,
only worked
wow.
one company before. My mom has always had a job, but she
Mm-hmm.
did entrepreneurial things on the side. And
Okay.
so I think it's in my DNA.
Yeah.
And I've always felt entrepreneurial,
Mm-hmm.
but because I had my daughter young, I was caught up between survival, right, and having to work and provide for my daughter, but but you know, having ideas. I've always had great ideas, but I didn't have back then. I would say in my 20s and 30s, I was afraid to do
Mm-hmm.
it because I had to take care of my daughter, right, and provide.
That's true.
And so I I also focused back then on the things that I wasn't good at.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I can't do it because I don't know how to do X, Y, or Z. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so what flipped the switch for me was after seeing several good ideas that I had, I won't say they were good, they were great ideas,
Mm-hmm.
um, turn into multi-million dollar businesses for other people.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
That one day I said, the next time I have a great idea, I'm gonna go for it and I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to quit no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And so that idea was me time, right?
Okay.
And but what got me over the hump in, or I should say breaking through the fear of being an entrepreneur, right, was when I realized that I had been I had been helping other companies or people
Mm-hmm.
make millions and millions of dollars for their ideas, for their services, for their products.
Correct.
And I was always a top producer in
Mm-hmm.
whatever company I worked for. And I thought, wow, why wouldn't I be able to do that for myself? Like I have a gift of sales and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people who start businesses, that's not their strength, right?
Correct.
Or so why wouldn't I be able to do that for myself? And once I had that realization, literally, it was almost like I had to rid the fear out of my brain
Mm-hmm.
to make room for the idea, because the next day the idea came to me.
Okay. That's great. And how many people are at my time,
Me
uh,
time.
me time at the moment?
Yeah, so I have a team of 4 people,
Mm-hmm.
and we've had a bunch of people, over the couple of years, coming in and volunteering and donating time or doing things on deferred payment because they really believe in our mission and our vision
Mm-hmm.
and, see the value of it in the world. So a core team of 4
Mm-hmm.
and lots of guardian angels along
Okay.
the way in the journey of being an entrepreneur. And
That's a,
that's what it really is a village. They say it takes a village to raise a child. It
mhm.
takes a village to raise a startup.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you on that one. Okay, great. So, according to you, what is a basic skill set required to start a business?
I think it's traits more than skill sets, right?
Mhm.
Because you can develop skills,
Yeah.
and or it's really about identifying what your strengths are,
Hmm.
being really clear on who you are and what you're great at, and also what you're not great at, what you suck at. Because the things that you suck at, that's when you go find people who are great at those things and you bring them on, as a team member,
Hmm.
or you delegate to someone, whether you bring them on as a teammate or you hire them, as a vendor.
Hmm.
But let soar with your strengths, and everything else you delegate, you find people for it. But I would say, to me, it's the intangibles, that's like the grit, the passion, the determination, the
Hmm.
will, the belief in yourself. Like those are all qualities that you have to have. And the ability to face fear and move through it anyway, and take action. You have to take action every single day, even if it's, you want to take massive action, but there's
Hmm.
some days that you don't feel it, or life is happening and you have other things going on, but you still have to just keep pushing through.
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And for newcomers who are just starting out, what would you say how difficult it is for them to start a business in 2021, especially given this pandemic situation?
I, at this point now, as far as, maybe in the beginning of the pandemic, when things were shut down, or,
Hmm.
there was a lot of uncertainty in the world, but I think we're discovering a new norm
Hmm.
of doing work and living. And it seems like any other day, but you can
Yeah.
do it. And I've seen so many people, who have existing businesses that they've lost their business. They've had to shut down, and you pivot,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So to me, I think you can start a business any day of the week, right? It just takes the idea and a game plan, and obviously some resources too, but
Hmm.
I started my business with no money, zero. Like I
Hmm.
made so many, which is crazy, and looking back at it now.
Hmm.
Um, and but not having the proper financial resources has made my journey longer and slower, you know,
Hmm.
compared to maybe some other folks that I've seen in my space or that I know of. But for me at that time, it was, I have to do this. That was the feeling. I actually started my business after I got laid off from a company that went down. The whole company went down, everybody got laid off.
Hmm.
And I went through a divorce,
Okay.
and I was semi-homeless, and I started my business.
Oh.
Went during that experience, literally during that experience, when it seemed like my whole world did end. Like
Hmm.
everything that I knew, collapsed, right? And was gone. And I literally started my business with nothing, and while semi-homeless, living with friends after my divorce. So it you can start a business at any time. It really is just about, do you want to?
Mm. That's amazing. Like, that's crazy that you were able to,
It
start a
is,
business during that time.
and it's probably like good that, in some ways, like I had that drive and passion, and that it was this feeling of like, I have to.
Hmm.
Um, and because I won't say I was fearless, because I did have fear about me, but I was just so determined. Like I believed in the vision, and I believed in myself so much,
Yeah.
that I could do it.
Hmm. I mean, those were some pretty big hurdles when you started this company. So,
Massive.
apart from those, would you say were there some other hurdles as well while going through this journey?
Yeah, so I'm a non-technical founder. So building a tech startup, and as a
Uh-huh.
non-technical founder, uh, limited to no resources is a really big one. I mean, and that is a big one, to this day, right, that I'm
Hmm.
dealing with. But learning curve, The learning curve was big. And so, I'm having to fill in knowledge gaps, that say, someone building a tech startup that has technical background,
Mm-hmm.
right? I would just say it was a bigger learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. And what were some of your monumental successes while going along this journey?
My monumental successes, I think first and foremost, is the number of people that have, been with us on this journey temporarily,
Mm-hmm.
full time, like the ability to build a team, the ability to share the vision and have, well over 100 people at some point or another come in
Mm-hmm.
and help,
Oh,
you
wow.
know. So I think that's a monumental journey. I mean, monumental success is enrolling others to believe in it and contribute, you know.
Yeah, definitely,
That
definitely.
that's huge. Um, we launched our MVP this past year, and so that was big
Mm-hmm.
because it took me a long time to find a dev team that would be willing to work with us,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, in a certain capacity, and as equity partners, and based on a cash and equity
Mm-hmm.
basis. So that was big, and I think the biggest success for me is the the not quitting.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it that's the big thing about entrepreneurship. Every day you're gonna be faced with so many challenges,
Mm-hmm.
and in the feeling of wanting to give up, and not giving up is big.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
I completely agree with you on that. Like there are multiple times when you feel like, things are not working, everything is going south, and you feel like let's wrap up everything and be done with this one. But to move forward during that times, like it's very difficult. That's true.
Right, and the other piece of that is, you know, there's more days of things feeling like they're not going right
Mm.
than there are of things going right.
Yeah.
And so it's just moving into acceptance and comfortability with
Hmm.
that feeling.
Correct. That's true. And apart from work, what do you usually do when you're not working?
So I am a big proponent of self-care
Hmm.
because uh, we work so much, and especially, a startup is like your baby, right?
That's true.
And if you have a full-time job as well, like I do, right? I call that my husband. That's my boyfriend, my full-time job. And then my startup is my baby. So I'm a big proponent of self-care, and just as if were in a relationship or you have children, you understand what I'm talking about when I say that feeling. And you have to make time to take care of yourself. And because when you do take practice self-care and take me time,
Hmm.
right? It like a lot of people will think, oh, I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to meditate. I don't have time to eat right. I don't have time to visit my family and spend time with my friends. But the thing about it is, those things actually expand your capacity. They actually give you more time. They make you happier, and they they help with your focus. They help with your peace. They help with your ability to manage stress with,
Yeah.
right? So I do all of those things. I meditate, I read, I pray, I work out, I spend time with my friends, I get out in nature, I go to the beach, I go on hikes, I go on little mini trips,
Hmm.
getaways to rejuvenate and re-energize, you know,
Yeah.
and I take care of myself physically, in terms of working out. I
Yeah, that's
mean,
a wonderful life that you're living. Sounds like it's amazing.
it's so funny because people are like, "You're living your best life," and I'm
Uh-huh.
like, I am, because I'm building something that I'm so passionate about, that I
Mhm.
feel, is my purpose. I'm living a purpose-driven life, and I am enjoying myself too. But I will tell you, the first couple years, I wasn't doing any of those things. I
Mm.
was just working, 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 working. And I almost burnt out completely and almost quit because I was so burnt out. And I work with the leadership coach, and he had said, I'm going to give you, you have to choose 10 self-care practices that you're going to do every day. And I looked at him like he was crazy. I was like, how can I possibly do 10 things when I'm already feeling overwhelmed and like I don't have enough time? And he's like,
Mhm.
trust me, you're going to do it. And it's those 10 things started off, like 30 minutes a day, right? And
Okay.
now they've expanded, into I wake up earlier so that I can do some of those self-care practices, because what it has done, it has expanded my capacity, and I am more peaceful, and I can manage stress so much better, and I'm
Mhm.
happy too, right? And so the thing is that you want to, this is a journey that we're on as entrepreneurs, and
Mhm.
you want to enjoy the ride. You don't want it to feel like a chore,
That's true.
and so I do all of those things so that I can enjoy this journey and be in it for the long haul, because it is a marathon and not a sprint.
Yeah, absolutely. And could you share an important lesson that you learned from life?
From life,
Yeah.
oh man, there's so many. Um, that was probably a big one right there, right? About
Mhm.
doing the things that are going to expand your capacity,
Correct. Yeah.
right? Because as the founder, CEO, leader, of your company,
Hmm.
it's important. It's important that you do all the things that are going to help you as a leader, but also that you can, bring back to your team to build, a great company. And so
Absolutely.
it is about taking the me time and investing in yourself.
Yeah.
And it's not even about that, the business part of it too. It
Mhm.
just makes you a better person in the world, for your
Yeah.
family, your friends.
That's true. Absolutely. And what keeps you moving forward in life?
What, I'm sorry, what?
What keeps you moving forward in life?
My vision,
Okay.
and the vision to, and to, in the mission to help people. I want to help as many people as possible,
Mm.
and to just be happier, better people. And I know firsthand what it's like to struggle, what
Mhm.
it's to have dark days, what it's like to feel challenged, in a situation where you want, oh, I wish I could have done that better. I could have said that differently.
Yeah.
I didn't show up in that way. Um, we've had some tragedy in our family,
Oh.
with suicide. And so, especially right now, with everything that's going on in the world, and you hear about, the suicide rate is up with kids
Yeah.
right now.
Mm.
And we have some young family members, and that have taken their life, and or attempted to take their life. And so I know the pain, that people are feeling, but and also just people wanting, to be better. And so that's what keeps me going, and every single day, and moving forward.
Oh, those have been like must have been really difficult times. I hope things improve in the future.
Yeah, me too. This
Mhm.
the world needs some me time.
Definitely. So, what would you say is your favorite book and why?
Oh wow, there's so
Mhm.
many. I read a lot.
Mhm.
Let's see. There's a there's a great book, and I'm forgetting the author's name, but a great, oh, I think it's Angela Duckworth, Grit.
Okay.
A really great book, for entrepreneurs to read. And let's see, my probably one of my favorite books, and it's one of my favorite authors, is The Four Agreements,
Hmm.
by Don Miguel Ruiz, because it's very basic, simple agreements that you can make with yourself that everybody can do, and they seem so simple, but they're actually very difficult to do.
Okay. Sounds
Mhm.
interesting.
It is. And it's like things like be impeccable with your word, don't take things personally.
Hmm.
And I think that if everybody read the Four Agreements, this world would improve it's emotional intelligence by 75%. You know?
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
those are a couple of books, a couple of
Okay.
favorites of mine.
Mhm.
Also, oh, another great one that I think every entrepreneur should read is Think and Grow Rich.
Thinking? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Think, Think and Grow Rich.
Ah, okay.
That's a famous book. It's been around forever, but
Hmm.
it, it's a staple that I think business folks
Okay,
should have in their library.
great. And what would you say is the best and worst part of running a company?
Yeah. Oh, there's so many. There's so many things. Let's see. The the best part
Hmm.
for me personally is seeing it come to life, seeing a vision come to life, see something, an idea that you had in your head actually come to life. And the that for me is probably the best part. And the worst part, I think for me in my journey, it's just been, the lack of resources, not having enough resources or access to resources that I need, and to go faster.
Hmm.
So that's been the most challenging part.
Okay. And for 2021, do you have a pledge?
For 2021, do I have a what?
A pledge or an aim or a goal?
Pledge? Um, do I have a pledge? I don't have I guess, a pledge.
Hmm.
Uh, I do have a mantra,
Okay.
and my mantra is to be healthy and wealthy.
Well, that's a
And
great answer.
yeah, and that means healthy and wealthy, I, in all ways possible, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially. And
Okay.
and I think all of those things are tied together.
Hmm.
So it's important to to have it in all areas of my life, not just financial, or just physical.
Definitely. Definitely. And we have reached the rapid fire section of this interview now. So I'm going to ask you short questions. Try to keep your answers short as well.
Okay.
And if you come across any question that you do not want to answer, you can just say skip and I'll move on to the next one.
Okay.
Okay, so are you an iPhone person or an Android person?
I just went back to iPhone after Android for 5 years.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
T.
Uh-huh. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
I say gratitude statements and pray.
Okay, that's really nice. What's the one thing that you would like to change about yourself?
One thing I'd like to change about myself.
Mhm.
Uh, my level of impatience.
Okay. What's your spirit animal?
I'm a Taurus, and so I am a bull, I guess, by nature, but
Okay.
my spirit animal, uh, I feel, is a unicorn.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. A rumor about you that you wish were true.
Oh, that I have it all together.
Okay. Okay. What's the easiest way to piss you off?
Mm, to not be in integrity with your word.
Hmm.
If you don't follow through on what you say, do what you say, mean what you mean,
Okay.
what you say.
Mhm. What's the one thing that you own that you wish you didn't?
A car.
Okay.
I don't want to put that in the universe, so I need my car.
Okay. Okay. What's the thing that you're most afraid of?
Most afraid of. Maybe death.
Hmm. Okay. What's the most interesting thing that you have in your purse or wallet?
In my personal wallet.
Mm-hmm.
Not my Costco card. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, shall we move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. So according to you, what technology will transform the future?
What technology will transform the future?
Mhm.
Space travel.
Okay. So now you have to rate yourself from 1 to 10 on the following, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest.
Okay.
First one is quick learner.
10.
Okay. Book enthusiast.
9.
As a leader.
9.
Okay. As a CEO.
8.
Okay. As a friend.
As a friend,
Uh-huh.
a 10.
Okay, great. So with that, we have reached the end of the rapid fire round. And so before I let you go, I just have one more question for you. Could you think of 3 other people who own businesses or are CEOs who might be interested in doing an interview with me? And you don't have to think of their names right now. You can reach back to me later on LinkedIn, on email. That's up to you.
Yes, I have 3 for you.
Okay, sounds good. Great. So with that, we have reached the end of the interview. So thank you, Remy. Thank you for coming on to this interview and sharing, glimpses of your life, about your background, about the companies, how difficult it was to set up and start those companies. And it was amazing knowing your story, your struggles, and how you actually made it so far. So thank you for doing this with me today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Great. Thanks, Remy. Take care. Bye.